Hello, I'm very pleased here, standing with SirScoots. What do you think of MLG Anaheim so far?
Amazing. Definitely the best MLG yet. It's just day one, and Columbus was the best MLG yet. So again, we all knew Anaheim was going to be big, home of Blizzard, but again, from the very first match, Huck and 91, not enough seats. People already on the floor, people already in fire lanes. It's insane. It's insane.
If I can just ask real quick, you're saying this is the best so far. This is our first MLG. We first really feel for the event. Why is this better than the last one?
Bigger. Obviously, being here for StarCraft, we are now center of the building. The past MLGs, Halo's been the middle stage, the bigger stage, with StarCraft on the side. Mm-hmm. We now have that center spot. So it's our show, it's our dance, if you will, now. So and it's just bigger, more people, more seats.
Yeah.
For EG's part, MLG hasn't been the best of the tournaments, even though Idra won. Was it the second one last year?
Yeah, DC, yeah.
The DC one. Is it any special reason? Is it just because EG is getting most attention, in control? Idra and the other guys are like superstars here, or what's your take on it?
I think I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's safe to say that maybe the guys haven't trained as hard as they can or should, which is again one of the reasons why we're doing the team house. Kind of give them the facility to focus. I think the top level talent in the game is getting harder and harder and better and better every single event. So it's not going to be easy for anyone to win these events. And yeah, I just think the level of competition, and now you've added the whole layer of Koreans that are coming over. So what was easy in DC is long since not easy anymore.
Of course, you are one of the top organizations together with SK and Fnatic. How come that as soon as something is happening in EG, it's turning so big and it's just evolving all, for example, Team Liquid and other sites? Is it something with your personalities that quite a lot of the people in EG has good personalities, like the Muslim and yourself and everybody else, or is it something else? Do you have any take on it?
I don't know. We've internally been talking about this a lot because it seems like no matter what news we post, no matter what we do, we certainly have people that are happy for us and our fans are very excited, but we definitely, for lack of a better word, have a huge share of haters that, right or wrong, for whatever their reasons, doesn't matter what we announce, what we say, they will find fault in it. And again, I'm okay with that. That's very much like sports. Some people hate certain sports teams for no other reason than their parents hated them. It's just we're that team for some people. We are the enemy, right? If you're a huge Team Liquid fan, you might not be an EG fan. You might be a fan of one of our players or two, but what I'm finding is that you're going to have your player fans and your player haters. We are now getting organization fans and organization haters. Again, just like real sports, right? I think we are also learning how to deal with this newfound fame and world, if you will. We have been a team for a very, very long time, but the spotlight now is bigger than it's ever been. And the mob, as I call them, with the pitchforks, is huge, And years ago, you could kind of slough them off and go, okay, well, that's just a few kids hating, but their voice is bigger, right? And they deserve and need the attention given to them. So, like this last situation, we were a little late with our statement about what went down with Puma. Could we have been better? Could we have got in front of that story a little better? Yeah, probably so, and that might have calmed that a little bit. So we're learning, how to navigate this world too a little bit. I think we are, frankly, the team people love to hate right now, and that's okay. I think we do run a solid business. I think our business ethics are fine, all those things. So, we've grown some thick skins, and it's like anything else. You guys would know this as well. You're always going to hear the negative, and there's 20 negative, and one guy down here goes, man, I love what you guys do. Keep doing it, and you just don't hear that much. But in life, you don't hear positive as much as you hear negative, right? But, sometimes we screw some stuff up and we're the first to admit it and come out and say, hey, okay, we could have done this differently. Hopefully we can win some of those haters back.
I've always seen EG as a very, very solid, I wouldn't say that you are taking small steps all the time, but you have been very solid organization, not like signing a lots of teams and be kind of restricted with it. Then you were planning to go to Korea, building a team house, which was, in my point of view, a huge step. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen. Can you explain why it didn't happen and what's the difference with what you're going with now?
Sure. Initially, the whole concept of doing stuff in Korea was very, very centered around Greg. When we first signed Greg wanted to stay in Korea, and he wanted us to help find him a facility, and he wanted to continue his career there. And then, kind of the rest of the world popped up, and the DreamHacks and the MLGs and everything else kind of appeared around the rest of the world. And Greg and a lot of other people looked around and went, Korea is still the holy grail. It's still where the best of the best are, but I want to go here, 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 and here. I can't do that and do everything in Korea. So, and I think he was kind of lonely at that point. He was living in an apartment. He was no longer in a team house, and he said, I want to travel to all the other events, So it was kind of, we would never force him to stay in Korea. We'd never force him to leave Korea. And he said, can I go home, so to speak, do Europe and do all the North American stuff? And we said, sure. And then, that then led to the same concept of a team house, but somewhere else. And that's what we're doing in Phoenix, Arizona. So we will go back to Korea. The guys will go back. I'm a firm believer that this thing's going to be happening. This is not a flash in the pan game. So just because you're not in Korea this month doesn't mean you're not in Korea in 6 months. It's going to always be there, and it's going to get harder there. It's going to get harder everywhere.
For those who haven't followed, in me included, who is going to be in this team house? And can you say anything about the structure of it?
Sure. Certainly, right now the full-time residents of the team house are six. I won't call them all North Americans because we have DeMuslim. So DeMuslim's coming over. Machine, Idra, In Control, Strife Crow, and Axlab, and then. The other guys, LZ Gamer will stay in Louisiana. He's one of our players. And then basically anyone else who we've recruited, like a Puma, if he's coming to a North America event, he'll come hang out there in advance, get over his jet lag for a couple weeks, boot camp, etc. And then he'll go on to the events. And then obviously whoever else we recruit, the house is built for 8 without anyone sleeping on couches or anything crazy. And the idea is, it's just like it was going to be in Korea, kind of a westernized Korean training house. I think the Korean training houses are so successful, not just because of the apartment and how it's laid out, but there's a different culture there. And they train a certain way, they act a certain way, they live a certain way. And we've heard many Westerners go over there and not like it. Greg fit in, he was okay, but he still kind of felt like a fish out of water, right? So the idea is to take all those core elements that make the Koreans so good and why the training house works and just kind of westernize it a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said, we got that going in Phoenix, Arizona. Later this month, we'll start showing videos and pictures of it. They will be starting to live there next week, but still tweaking some stuff before we show the world.
Cool. Is Tasteless still with EG? And
he
how
not.
are we gonna do with the Puma now? Can you say something about
Tasteless?
How you're gonna use
Well, first
Puma?
off, Tasteless is no longer with us.
Okay.
And we had Nick when Greg was going to kind of stay in Korea to kind of help that whole project. Well, when that all shifted, it didn't really necessarily make sense for Tasteless to really be involved. He had nothing to do in Korea, right? Puma, what I can tell you is, we will find him a home in Korea. That is very, very, very much in play right now. So we'll have announcements on that as well.
I'm gonna be so unprofessional. Can we keep going, Slope? It's okay for a few minutes more?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 more.
Okay, good. First of all, you made some changes in your Counter-Strike team. Can you just short give us your view of it and what happened?
Yeah. First off, we are of the belief that unfortunately, even though it's my core game, it's the game that got a lot of people into pro sports, me especially. It's very much on life sport in North America. Not so much maybe in the rest of the world, but I think we're seeing a decline globally. But definitely in North America, there really is almost nowhere to play other than the SCA. And it was a very big division for us, and we decided, resources being spent needed to be shifted somewhere else. So we sat down with the team and had some nice long talks with them about the future. And the team decided that they wanted to stick around and keep doing it, but they wanted to make some changes. So you're seeing basically 2 of the old guard leave, Storm and Fraud, and we've got Hero and Paulding now. And we'll see how that roster does. Every so often you got to mix it up. I don't know if we'll ever be able to go to Europe and quite frankly win. If you don't go over there and boot camp with them, we don't have. There's like 2 or 3 teams in the States. So who do you practice with? And once you and I scrim every single map, how do we keep learning from each other, right? You hit that plateau. So it's just unfortunately no longer our flagship game, and so we have to treat it as such. So we're just kind of changing our roster up a little bit, and we'll see where it goes.
At this moment, it's also Evolution 2011, the finals in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Should MLG also have a fighting scene?
I wish.
Could they bring it in, or how do you see the fighting scene? Because it's kind of divided from the rest of the esports in some parts.
Yeah, they're definitely in their own little world, and they always have. And I think that's part of coming out of arcades and not being PC centric or even console centric. They've been arcade centric. I think that whole genre is huge, and Evo is like the crowning jewel of that whole scene, and it'll be just as big as this. It'll be nutty in Vegas. I wish it wasn't the same weekend because I'd be there. They are a little different. I wish MLG has tried. They've had some Tekken here before. They've had a little bit of Mortal Kombat exhibition this year. There is, from what everyone seems to understand, some bad blood between Capcom, Evo, MLG for stuff that happened years and years and years ago, I guess. And so, as far as I've been told, Capcom won't give them a license, which that means no Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and no Super Street Fighter AE. Which again, if you pull out, no offense to the Call of Duties here, but if you take that third stage and you make it a fighting game stream and you run those main games, that side of the room is crazy, hype, packed, yelling and screaming too, right? And of course, we'd love it. It would be 5 more events in North America for the fighters to go to, But maybe they'll mend that bridge. I don't know, though. It just seems like there's some bad blood, which is unfortunate because at the end of the day, who hurts? The players who want to go to travel and sit on stages and make money. Less places to play is never any good.
Okay, thank you so much for this
You're
interview.
welcome.
Do you have any final words? And also, even if you can take off your EG hat, who
Sure.
do you predict winning in this tournament? This tournament too?
Well, I'll say the same thing I said on Live on 3. I think top 3 will be MMA, Idra, and Nelly. A winner of that, I want to put my EG hat on and say Greg, but he's got a tough road ahead of him. Huck or MMA, maybe.
Any final words?
Just a big shout out to all our fans, and all our haters, if you will. Keep an eye on us. Hopefully, we'll change your minds. And obviously, all our sponsors: Intel, SteelSeries. We've got a new one, InWin. Monster Energy, obviously big. This is huge for the whole world because we're bringing mainstream. We hope that Monster's competitors look at what they're doing with EG and they go, oh, okay, we need to get into the team, and it grows the whole thing. And yeah, check out myeg.net. Obviously, big shout out to you guys, what you're doing.
Thanks.
I have a question for you though. Where's my English site? What happened?
Rakaka
No
World.
fluff, no fluff.
Rakaka World.
Basically, we reformed and we had to shut it down. I hope it come back soon.
Good to hear.
That's right. All
Good
right.
to hear.
See you.
All right. Thanks, guys.